Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Fly US, now serving 42 new destinations worldwide. Travel like a real man again, drunk and waited on by depressed women at 35,000 feet. Fly US. Sit back, relax, and shut up.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. This is episode 438. And I, of course, am your host, your funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. It's me, it's Matt, and with me, but not really, is the light bearer, light bringer, the Beastmaster. Third Shift, it's Eric. So when I say not really, it means I literally just got off a plane, and I just walked in the house, and Eric can't record on this day that I'm doing this, and the days, the regular Third Shift, sub-recording day and the official day are both booked with shows for me. So, Eric recorded some bits over the weekend. I'm recording some bits right now. So, hey, we're going to play it like it's a real episode. Hey, Eric, what you been doing this week, buddy?
Well, I'm glad you asked how my week has been, Mr. Matt. And let me tell you, the weekdays this week, for some reason, somehow they went slower than you'd ever imagine. And then, of course, as per usual, but even weirder this time, we hit the weekend, and it was like bing, bang, bong. Done and done. It was insane. It was a good weekend. Not much got done, though, but it was a good weekend nonetheless, because Friday was spent recovering, recuperating, napping, doing all sorts of cleaning, and just kind of getting things back under control. Saturday, I had a robotics competition that I went on and off from because I also had to do taxes. As you do when you're an adult, you do some taxes. So went to Elaine's robotics whole shindig, got to watch the final match via FaceTime, etc. She plays pretty well in there, so it was fun to watch. A good time indeed. And of course, now we look forward to next year because if I'm not mistaken, that was the last one of the year. So robotics is done for now. Now we're back to chilling on the weekends, doing whatever. And of course, you're wondering, did you even get to any games? And yes, the answer is yes. I've been rocking out Silent Hill 2. Finally, the remake's been going really well. I'm in the groove of it. I'm feeling it now. I still only play for usually a couple hours at a time, just because, the environments are just freaking nuts. And speaking of which, this particular week, I've already met Mariah, whatever her name is, and she's just a hoot, okay? So we met up, we're actually hanging out together, and we went to the hospital, and now I'm in there going all over the place, exploring that, and I know some bad times are coming. Pyramid Head's in there shuffling around. You got Eddie, who was doing some shenanigans prior to this. So I'm sure we'll see more of Eddie, and Eddie's a freaking psychopath. But right now I'm in the hospital, and I'm chasing the little girl. I forget what her name is. And we're going up and down from the first floor all the way to the rooftop. And then I got an encounter, and I got knocked down the elevator shaft by old crazy man. It's been a wild time. All in all, just all the memories are coming back as I, explore these places and go through the areas. I start remembering all the weird, crazy crap that was happening. I got a really good jump scare this week. In fact, it was just last night and got me good. So that doesn't happen too often. So it felt good. It felt good to go, oh, Jesus, what the hell? So if it does that to me, I can't wait. I want to get Matt to play this so that way he can freak out and go bananas. But he's not gonna, because he won't even play on Wake 2 because he's a chum. That's what he is. He's a gosh dang chum. So yeah, we beyond Silent Hill 2, I don't think I played much of anything else. I didn't ever get back to the demos I talked about. I figure I got what I got out of them. I'm still debating whether I'm going to do the Trails of the Daybreak or not. I feel like I should and am, but we'll see. And the reason I feel that way is because, of course, Trails of Daybreak 2 is one of the games coming out this month. What I was briefly going to talk about being interested in, but I'll get to that when I get to it. Yeah, other than that, taxes got done, video games were played. It was a good time all in all, and glad to finally be back into a normal life schedule for the time being. Hopefully, Matt's shows clear up, and we're going to get back on track with just normal show times, etc. It's going to be great. I'm very excited about it. What about you, Matt? How's this week been going? What you up to?
As for me, if anybody knows, if you got the hint from the previous episode, if you know me like live and in person, in living color, this was the week I went on my yearly cruise. down to Miami, off to the Dominican Republic with Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. I'm not sure how I'm going to break this up. I might just do it all right now. Starting off on Thursday, flew down there to Miami, and, I fly once a year. So if you only fly once a year, you can treat yourself to a first-class flight. That's exactly what I did. Drinking gin and tonics. Having the premium snacks. Watching the movies. Surprise! It's Uncle Matt's On a Plane movie review. First up, from the flight from Detroit down to Atlanta, I watched The Wild Robot, because that flight was about like an hour, 45 minutes. That's how long the movie was, and I thought it was pretty good. I'd heard awesome stuff about it, saying like 9 out of 10. For a kid's movie, it was pretty damn good. Pretty funny. For a kid's movie, it held together well enough for an adult to watch and enjoy. I thought the possums were probably the best part, so that was a pretty good one. Then the next flight from Atlanta down to Miami, I watched, what was it I watched? I watched Saturday Night, the fictionalized / real-life based story of the first Saturday Night Live episode, and pretty enjoyable, pretty funny, interesting if true, that kind of thing that I always say. But I will say it was very weird, because you have a lot of modern-day younger actors playing these classic actors, comedic actors, that we all know and love as older people. Like, I say we, like including you in it, but, I'm an older guy, so I know what Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, these were all a little bit before my time, but I know what they sound like and how they look and act, and you know what I mean? And I thought some of them did amazing jobs. Like the guy who plays Chevy Chase, he was like spot on. The guy who's Dan Aykroyd, spot on with the voice. Really, really cool. But there were a bunch of scenes where the person playing that character, so Chevy Chase or, Dan Aykroyd or John Belushi, played out the scene that was from that show. And the scene would play, and then everybody who was in the room, who was in the Saturday Night Live room, is going, ha, 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 ha. And it's like big close-ups of everybody, ha, 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 ha. And it really struck me because I didn't laugh at a lot of those. So I'm like, wow, is it really just down to how good the original actor was in the performance? Because I could see it. Even though I've never seen the skit they were doing, like I could see John Belushi just going nuts in one of these scenes, and that being really funny. So it was weird to see not John Belushi not quite go as far as I think he would, and have everybody react as if it was him going as far as he would. I don't know if that makes any sense. Still, I enjoyed the movie. Like there were a lot of funny moments throughout that weren't just, hey, look, here's the bit, ha 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 ha. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it overall. I don't want to sound down on it, but it was just, he had that moment of realization of how different the levels were. And maybe not. Maybe if I went back and watched that John Belushi sketch, I wouldn't like it. But I had a feeling that this would be way funnier with the actual person actually doing it, instead of somebody who is playing the character, playing himself do it. You know what I mean. You get it. So that was Thursday. Flew down, stayed at the Miami Airport Hotel, which I think is a little bit overpriced, but it's right there at the airport. So you can just literally walk to the taxi line and get on the taxi, go to the boat. Also had a really good dinner at the Vienna, I think is the name of the restaurant, right on top of the airport hotel, which had a really cool view. You could watch planes taking off. Really good food there. Kind of expensive, but it's in an airport. What do you expect? But I enjoyed it. Good food, good times. Went down to the cruise port next day, got on the boat. And if you don't know Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, it's rock bands. So his band Fozzy, which is kind of a classic rock / sort of modern rock, like rock and roll type of a band. It's not like it's rock and roll. It's what you would think of if you think of rock and roll. That's what they do. And they're pretty good at it. Like they're a rocket band, they got wailing guitar solos and all that good stuff. Then he also usually has like an 80s band on there. This cruise, it was Great White. And then he's got like 80s cover bands also. So lots of rock bands all throughout the day, every single day. And then he's got comedians. Same thing. Comedians here, there. Each night there's usually a comedy special, whether it's somebody hosting like ad-lib stuff, so Saturday Night Live-y type of things, or just straight up stand-up comedians. Always really funny. Always a blast. And then he works with AEW, which is one of my favorite wrestling promotions. And they have wrestling every night on the boat. You know me. You know I love the pro wrestling. That's awesome. I love it. What's beautiful about it, too, is since it's not like broadcast for network TV, you're like, it's not in the rotation of their actual shows. You can do a lot of silly stuff. They can have lots of fun. They can do comedy matches. They can do matches that involve the crowd a lot more than they would normally. And it's just a blast. Every night, there's something to laugh or cheer or just have fun with. And especially on the last night, they have like an Oceanic Championship. So every year, they have like a little mini tournament over the nights. And then at the final night, the champion walks in with the belt, faces a challenger, wins or loses. But that match was excellent. Michael Oku versus Mojibari, I think was his name. Fantastic match. Like, legit, real good match. Not goofs, not ha-has, but just like two dudes going at it and wrestling. That was great. And then in the middle of all the other stuff, you have meet and greets, photo sessions, autograph sessions with AEW talent, with wrestling legends from the past, and people who've been around a lot, who are like modern day legends, kind of. So on this boat, we had Nick Nemeth, who was formerly Dolph Ziggler, and Ash by Elegance, who was formerly Dana Brooke. Those were the modern legends. And then from the past legends, they had Nigel McGuinness, who was in Ring of Honor for a long time, has been a color commentator for the longest time, and is just an awesome dude, very funny. They had Bull Nakano from back in the WWF in the 80s, and obviously All Japan. So those are the past legends. They also had Scott Steiner there. So awesome to meet him, shake his hand, get a picture. Same thing with Jushin Thunder Liger from New Japan. Really awesome to see him fully kitted out, whole bodysuit and giant mask, everything. You don't know Jushin Thunder Liger, check him out. His outfit is crazy. It's nuts, and it's awesome. So that was kind of like the intro day. The next at sea day was those kind of activities sprinkled all around. Then the third day of the cruise, we stopped at Puerto Plata in Dominican Republic. And Eric will tell you, he'll laugh at me for this. The last couple cruises, I haven't gotten off the boat. Once because I didn't have like a proper passport. Like you could bring your birth certificate and use that as your ID. And I didn't want to be messing around with anything happening. And that's all I got. And then the second time is because my feet were killing me the day that we got into port. And I was upset stomachy. You know, I'll keep it clean for the listeners because of all the different kinds of food I'd been eating on the boat. I didn't feel safe just, wandering around and, oh man, ooh, I really need to use the restroom now. Oh boy, here we go. But this year, I kept it clean for the most part. So no stomach issues, no foot issues. Although I did go in with one kind of aching, hurting foot, but I took care of it. So that day, went out, walked around Puerto Plata, and they drop you off at, I think it's called Taino Bay, which is a pretty touristy area. They got some shops. They got a duty-free shop because everybody loves duty-free stuff. I don't even understand. It's just as expensive as it is at home. I don't know what the point is. Anyway, they have like a pool. They got a lazy river thing. They got some restaurants. And I don't know. I had looked at some of the excursions, like go out, outside of town and do this for 5 hours, do that for 5 hours. And I just wasn't really feeling it. So I went out to Taino Bay. And they had like a little secluded beach type area. And it wasn't like you could go dip your toes in the water because it was like on this rocky coast. It was beach and beach chairs, and they were playing music. And I don't know if Eric will listen to this. He sometimes listens to the Piece Together shows. But if he does, he will remember a couple weeks ago, he and I talked about needing a vacation. And I had said it because you all know, when you have a vacation coming up, like when you're 2 weeks out from your vacation, at work, those are the worst 2 weeks of your life. You're just like, man, everybody's driving me nuts. All the little things that normally wouldn't irritate you are like so annoying. Your coworkers like do the dumbest stuff ever. And you're just like, God, I just gotta get out of here. I just gotta leave. So I was in that mode. And Eric was in that mode because we were between quarter and taxes. And he was just like, he said to me this line, and this is what it's going to come back around to. He says, man, I need a vacation. And I went, yeah, brother, me too. Even though mine's coming up, I need one like right now. And he goes, yeah, I need a vacation from this place, but I also need a vacation from like my regular life. And I went, yeah, I hear you, brother. Because he's got wife and kids and blah, blah, blah. And he goes off and does robotics competitions for 19 hours a day or whatever. And that's what I decided to do for that Dominican Republic day. I just went, you know what? I'm just chilling. I'm not going to worry about like, oh, I should have gone here, should have gone there. I parked myself on a little beach chair in the shade in like a 95% shady spot. I just hung out. I listened to great music. Like I said, they had music going on the speakers. I drank some Dominican beers. I went to one of the restaurants and had really good food, like really good food. and I just chilled. And I had a vacation from work. I had a vacation from my life. I had a vacation from the hecticness of the cruise itself. I just chilled and listened to the ocean and felt the breeze and felt the sun on my skin. Not too much, but it ended up being too much because I got sunburned. But I just got to just sit there and just go, There's nothing better than that sometimes. You could be like, ooh, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, I'm running around, I'm doing this. But sometimes you just want to just go, And that's what I did that day. And like I said, I got sunburned and all this other stuff. Next day was more of the same kind of sprinkled around events. I also had the VIP experience with Jericho, picture with him, autograph, and the custom belt for this cruise, which is over in my backpack that I'm pointing to that nobody can see, especially Eric, because we're not recording this together. So as much fun as it is, and I do love it. Like, I love the wrestling. The rock and roll shows are a lot of fun. The meet and greets, the autograph sessions. Some of my favorite people were there, like my favorite tag teams, my favorite performers. And it is awesome. But I feel like it's time for something new. I'm going to try some other things. Maybe go see some other places, do some other things. And you thought I forgot about the return flight, which I just got done with, sort of, because there was a connecting flight after that one. But from Miami to Detroit, it was like a 3-hour flight. So I decided to watch Joker, Folie à Deux, or however you say it, on the plane. And I told myself, if the Substance is available to watch, I will watch that on the plane. And if not, I'll watch Joker. So Substance wasn't available. Smile 2 was, so I was very torn. I almost watched that again. But instead I watched Joker. It was okay. Like, I get why people disliked it, but everybody knows I'm a fan of musicals. So even though most of the musicals are, he's kind of imagining himself feeling this kind of way and bursting into song and having this set piece, I don't know. I like that. Like I said, I see why people didn't like this movie. It was a very downer movie, but at the same time, not every movie needs to be fluff and fun. Like, I've watched a lot of really good movies, and I'm not saying this is a really good movie. Really good movies that I didn't enjoy, but they were still really good and impactful and all that stuff. So, I don't know. For me, it was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but I watched it on a plane, so what can you say? I didn't pay any money for it. I was drinking gin and tonics. I was eating a really nice beef and potatoes dish that they had up in the first class cabin. Tasty, wonderful. And then I flew from Detroit to Lansing, and I walked in the door here, and I sat down to listen to Eric's pieces, and I'm recording this for you and him and all the things. So, hey, Eric, that was my week. How about you tell us about a release that you got?
Well, that sounds like a gosh dang good time. And if I wanted to have that, I could also go play this particular title in the games of the week. Because, Matt, you know what? People might throw stones at me here, but that's okay. This game actually came out a couple weeks ago. It was January 16th, 2025. But because of everything going on, completely missed. So I'm going to shout it out right now. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD came out on the Switch for you to play. And let me tell you, if you haven't played this title, it's an old Wii title from way back in the day. It also got a port over to the Nintendo 3DS. But if you somehow missed this, you got to pick it up now. It is a Donkey Kong title. And without any further ado, you should already know that you got to play this because it's fun. It's a platformer that is just in a league of its own. It's not as good as Tropical Freeze, the newer one, obviously, but you know what? It's still really darn good. And I remember very clearly playing the hell out of this game. My wife even played and beat this one, which tells you that it's definitely really good because she only plays a few games once in a blue moon here and there. And this is one of those titles. But let me get you the straights here because this Donkey Kong Country is difficult. It is the old school difficult that you remember if you ever played the Super Nintendo versions. You got to precisely aim your shots when you're going from barrel to barrel. You got the minecart rides that are one hit, one kills. You got the jet turbo booster ride ones they're also one hit, one kills. So a lot of learning, a lot of just deaths that you can't even avoid until you figure out where the enemies are going to be and what they're doing. So if that's not up your alley, this still might be for you because not only do you get a chance to play it in the original mode, you can play it in modern mode. And in modern mode, there are a lot of leniencies given. You get 3 extra hearts. You get more items at Cranky's Shack to purchase to keep you alive and keep you going. There's a green balloon, which when you fall, will just rise you right back up. If you fail a level too many times, Super Kong comes out and just says, hey, I'll just do the level for you. And you get to watch him just go through and complete it for you. And you get to keep playing and moving on. So if you just want to have fun and you don't want that old school challenge of Donkey Kong, you can just play the modern version and just have a great time playing it and not worrying about it. And if you have a hard time, boom, Super Kong's coming and saving your day. Also, the items will help you out. Plus 3 extra hearts. Come on. There's no reason not to do this. Graphically, like I said, this is the HD version. It's been upscaled to look a little cleaner, look a little crisper. Runs at a crispy 60 frames per second the whole way through. But don't expect too much. This one isn't like a remake. They didn't go in and just do all sorts of fancy pants stuff to it. It does look pretty much as it did originally, except for the HD uptick there. But that's, I don't know, that's neither here nor there, because this game, to me anyway, looks good regardless. It's just that graphical style that Donkey Kong Country has, as you all know it has. It's there, and it just feels right, feels good. So I came back to this one because I think it's one that we shouldn't miss out on. Nobody should miss out on this one. Go grab it up and have some more wonderful Donkey Kong Country Returns HD action, because retro deserves your love, Nintendo deserves your love, and I'll tell you what, Donkey Kong definitely deserves your love. So, great title. Go out and pick it up right now.
Now, Eric threw it to me to do a release, and I tell you, I just got off a plane. I just drove my car that was sitting out in the freezing cold and didn't want to wake up for me. I had no time to do releases. Like, honestly, probably I did, but I was on a boat. I was having fun. I had no time for releases, but I will tell you, there are a couple releases that got some very mixed reviews. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 released over the past week, and I was seeing 5-star reviews. And I went, man, that sounds pretty cool. And then I saw a 2-star review. I went, whoa, what? And then I saw like a 3-star review, and then another 2, and then another 5. And I went, oh boy, it's a divisive game. And then the same thing could be said of Civilization 7. Because I saw some 5-star reviews. And I went, oh baby, Civ time. I'm going to stick my teeth into a Civ, even though I don't have time to be doing that. And I can't be buying new games right now. And then I saw a 2-star review, and somebody said, yeah, it's Civ, but I'm bored. And I went, it's Civ. What do you expect? I don't know. So there's 2 games that came out over the past week that are getting divisive reviews. The sources from the reviews I saw were Eurogamer, I think is one of the big ones in that feed. I think they did a lot of the positive reviews. Video Games Chronicle, which I'm not very familiar with, are some of the ones who were doing the 2-star reviews. And it might be mixed and matched. I don't have it right in front of me. Like I said, I'm not a proper release puppy, although I do want to talk about Rifted and the NecroDancer, because that looks really cool. A really cool rhythm game, a much different spin from Crypta the NecroDancer. You're doing like Guitar Hero style note hitting, but the notes are monsters, and the monsters react differently to getting hit by you. Like, one of the very first things I've seen in this IGN review is there's green slimes and you hit them and they go, oh, I'm dead. But there's a blue slime, and when you hit it, it like puts a little bandage on its head and it kicks itself back up the note track. So you have to hit it again to clear it out. Then there's skeletons that like lose body parts and kick back up the note track. There are enemies that like come down the note track in like big jumps. It's like a harpy that goes like 2 spots at a time. There's enemies that like cross from left to right or right to left. On each beat, they go bloop, bloop, bloop from right to center to left. Really, really cool. I am a rhythm game guy. You guys know that. It's got Rhythm Heaven style mini games. Oh, baby. I can't wait to play this. And we'll talk about something about that a little later in the episode that I know of that Eric's recorded because I listened to what he was going to talk about. Ooh, boy. So no proper releases for me. Those are 3 games that came out this week. I had no time to do proper research on any of them except for the NecroDancer, and I only got to see 1 review, check out the reviews, and do all that other stuff. None of this is proper. I'm a bad person. I'm an improper chopper, but I was just on a boat. Dude, I was on a boat. I was on a boat in the ocean, in the sea, on an island. What do you want from me? Eric, what do you want from me?
God bless. There's so many great games to play, and that's not all you can be playing. You know what, folks? There's always them free games, and I'll tell you what, Epic's got one for you. I think we've actually talked about this one before because I already have it in my library, so it must have came up before, but we'll say it again. You have the opportunity to get Beyond Blue on Epic right now for free. Get it in your library and boot it on up. You know why? Because you've always wanted to go to the heart of the ocean. And you've wanted to explore the depths, scuba diving, seeing the whales, seeing the little turtles, sea turtles, whoo, swish their way across the old blue, the squids, the octopus, all the things. Dolphins, they're all wanting to play with you until they don't, and then they beat you to death. I don't know, man. And whales, and what are those evil ones? The orcas. Yeah, they're going to come at you. You get to find those. I'm sure they're going to have like wars and battles with the whales. You want to get under the water, you want to go in the ocean, you want to scuba dive in your cool little scuba mobile and then scuba out of that and do all sorts of cool stuff. Beyond Blues got you covered, and it's free right now on Epic. Now, I was going to talk about Amazon free games this week, but it's a little early, and there's some confusion as to what the hell is coming out. So I can't really say too much on it. Amazon free games is still here, and they got games for you, and they're going to be dang good. I'm going to tell you that much. I know Nobody Saves the World's going to be on there. You got Devil May Cry 5 on there, but I just don't know the dates. So if the dates come out and it's particular to this week, that's it for you. If it's not, well, we're waiting. But there's a couple good games definitely from Amazon to go check out right now. So make sure you get on over there and do so.
Now I am jumping back in because Eric did not look for the Xbox Game Pass games. And I had the same issue as I've been having lately. I went February 2025 lineup, and they said Wave 1 has been announced. And then all of it was now coming with Xbox Game Pass Standard, now coming with Xbox Game Pass Core. And I went, I can't do it. I can't do all that. So the one thing I will definitely say to you right now that I know of that I'm actually excited to play, because I've had this, I think, on my Epic Games account for the longest time, and I am an Ultimate subscriber, so maybe it's just for Ultimates, but Far Cry New Dawn is here, which is that after Far Cry 5 spinoff where there's the two sisters who are like hunting you or something, and it's like very colorful and wacky and wild and like overgrown post-apocalypse scenario. That's the one I've been excited to play out of all the Far Cries lately, and now have it here on Xbox. When I opened my Xbox app, that's the newest thing it showed me, the Ultimate member. If you're just a standard member, I can't speak to it. I can't say anything about it. But check that one out. I was here for you. I did an Xbox Game Pass update. I didn't do a proper release, but I did a proper Xbox Game Pass update. Yeah, I did it. I'm so good. I'm so professional.
So February has finally reached us, and here's the deal. Already, the Delusia Games is on its way, and I'm super stoked for it, but also like, oh, crap, here we go. Because this week, and this month, not this week, this month, man, okay? And I'm going around, I'm tripping out. You've got Avowed hitting the scenes. You've got The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2 hitting the scenes. You've got Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii hitting the scenes. And, of course, at the end of the month, you've got Monster Hunter Wilds hitting the scenes. And I'm looking forward to all these. Now, earlier, if you remember, I mentioned if I was going to play Trails of Daybreak 1 and then get into Trails of Daybreak 2. The problem I have is that both of these are probably 80, 90-hour RPGs. And that's going to really jack up the whole timeline. So I'm kind of sad and iffy on whether I want to commit to this or not. I said I was gonna, and I really do want to, but I just don't know, because like I said, I've got the Yakuza game I want to play. I wasn't originally gonna, but man, oh man, it just looks like way too much fun not to play. So I'm really feeling like I'm going to have to fall into this regardless of what I said. Obviously, Monster Hunter Wilds is the very end of the month, so that's a no-brainer. But the good part about Monster Hunter Wilds is that's not like the I have to play 100% type of game. I can play that when I'm playing with my buddy Shay. I can just dabble in it here and there, do a Monster Hunter 2, and then take off. So that doesn't really, like, snag up my time and keep me busy. But Avowed and Like a Dragon are those type of games. Now, here's the thing, though, that's been driving me nuts is Xbox has been talking about how pretty much all of its games are going to end up coming to PS5 at this point. So I kind of got on board with that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to definitely play it on PS5. This is one of the only ones that isn't right now. It's not slated for PS5. There's no release date for it or anything. Is it going to come? Probably, for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. But as to when, I don't know. I was really hoping to see some sort of little blurb that it's going to become like a week later or 2 weeks later, and then I was going to wait and get it when it comes to PS5, but I'm not seeing that. And after watching the deep dive they recently did for Avowed, I'm really getting stoked and want to play it. And I can, because I have, a PC that's capable of doing it. So I'm like, man, do I just pick this up on the PC and just go with it? Get Xbox Ultimate Game Pass for a month and play the holy heck out of this? Or do I let this one slide and just go into the background until it does come out on PS5, do Like a Dragon and maybe Trails Through Daybreak 1, or start it, you know what I mean? The options are freaking bananas right now. There's a lot of games coming this month, and a lot of decisions that I've got to make pretty soon, not to mention finish up Silent Hill 2, which I'm working on right now before these ones hit. And the earliest one, I think, is Avowed, which is February 18th, because Like a Dragon is the 21st, and then like I told you, the 28th is Monster Hunter. But the Daybreak is February 14th. However, I wouldn't get to that anyway because I'd be playing part 1. So a lot of decisions need to get made. And in a nutshell, I'm just letting you guys know and gals know a lot of games coming this month. So y'all need to start doing what I'm having to do here and make these really difficult decisions. And that's not even it. You know, with freaking Xbox talking about bringing everything over to PlayStation, I was looking around and I'm like, well, you know, trying to find out if Avowed was coming, if there was any rumors about it, etc. When I fell across an article from the Push Square by Sammy Barker talking about a tipster, Extras 1S, who already revealed that the PlayStation version of Forza Horizon 5 was coming, and it was officially confirmed. So this guy's the guy, gal, whoever is legit. It said that we're getting the Gears of War collection that's going to be coming to, of course, Xbox, but also to PlayStation. So PlayStation's finally going to get the Gears of War. It's Gears of War 1 through 3. Now, I don't think anything's getting done to it. Well, the article I read here didn't say it was getting some kind of, spruced up treatment, making them glow and be, amazing, this and that. But just getting them in general is awesome. And now this is also tied into the fact that because we're getting this, there was already rumors and talk that we were also going to be getting Gears of War E-Day, which is the newest title coming up. So we'll get to play the first 3 if you've never been able to play them because you've been a PlayStation guy or gal forever. Now you'll get to play the first 3 and then be ready for E-Day, which has also been rumored to be coming out on Sony system. And this just leads back to what I said. Like, they keep talking about pretty much everything's coming to PlayStation, and it just bums me out that I haven't seen anything on Avowed yet. So just drive me nuts. Just trying to figure this out. Hopefully Xbox just pulls the trigger, gets everything coming day and date. PlayStation, Xbox, you play where you want to play. But regardless, you're giving money to Xbox if you purchase the game. I think it's a win-win. I do, anyway. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we see something on it really soon so I can make my decision on whether Avowed gets put to the back burner for a little bit or not. But who the hell knows? We'll see. We'll see, Matt. What about you? What do you got this month? What's going on?
I will just piggyback off what Eric is talking about. He's talking about February being full of stuff and Xbox games coming to PlayStation. And I know he's the PlayStation guy. He's just like the guy that likes the PlayStation. So anything PlayStation, he's so happy about. But on the serious tip, we've talked about all the time. More games in more places so more people can access them is only good stuff. And console wars, hibbity-bibbity. No, if you can buy games where you like to play them, it's just good for everybody. And like he says, if these are Xbox-owned games, the profit's going back in their pocket anyway, so it behooves them to do it, because if you want to play it on Xbox, you can buy it on Xbox. And boomity-boom, they get the money. But if you can play it on PlayStation, and it still goes to Xbox, boomity-boomity, they get more money. It's just good. It's a good deal. Now, the one thing I was going to say is talking about all the games releasing in February. It's a good month for me because until Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii on February 21st, there's only one game that I want to play this month. At least out of this IGN February 2025 video game release dates article that I found, there's only one, but it's a game I just talked about, which is Rift of the NecroDancer. Because I am in the mood for a rhythm game, buddy. Oh, brother, it looks so good. Like watching that one review of it and wishing I'd done a full release on it. Oh, I want to play it so bad. But the only other problem with anything happening this month, even Rift of the NecroDancer, is that I, before I left for the cruise, was hip deep, shoulders deep in Metal Gear Solid 5. And I want to get back into it. As soon as I was thinking about coming home, I went, oh, baby, I'm going to be looking. I'm going to be hunting. I'm going to be stealthing. I'm going to be non-lethal takedowning. Oh, brother, I can't wait to get back to that. And thankfully, for most of this month, there's nothing that I need to play other than Rift, which I think I can put off because a rhythm game, you don't need to play it on release date. Nothing's going to get spoiled for you. You know, it's not a story-rich game, even though there is a story mode. But look, you get what I'm saying. So I'm excited for that. February is not packed for me, but it is packed with a thing that I need to play and finish. I don't know that I'll finish it before Like a Dragon, but a wild brawler with wacky, ridiculous stuff and ship battles is so totally different from Metal Gear Solid 5 with sneaking that I think those two can coexist for me. That's fine. it's a good month for me to have nothing I really need to play because I have something I need to play. You feel me. You understand. So I know it's been a wacky episode. It's been a weird episode. It's been a cut together episode. And maybe the transitions aren't very good because he recorded like 3 or 4 days ago. I'm recording right now, raw and dirty. And I'm looking at myself on the camera because Eric's not here to talk to. But we can't end even a quick and dirty and wackety wildy episode without Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner. And it's a special Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner because you, the listeners, get to answer the question before Eric does. Normally he's here and he hears it raw and uncut, but he's not here. So you hear it first. So you can get the jump on him in the points. Here we go. If you remember, last week's question was, what are the controllers for the Nintendo Switch called? That, of course, is Joy-Cons. Everybody got that one. This week's question, I'm sad because I don't have somebody to answer right away, but you can answer right away as soon as you hear this. Where is the open world racing game Forza Horizon 4 set? If you know that answer, or if you got questions, comments, concerns, any kind of feedback at all, if you got mailbag questions, anything, literally anything at all. If you want to tell Eric that he's the best and I suck because I had to put this together at the last minute because I came home and I got 2 shows the next days, send that to us via the email thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine at ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook on Third Shift. Hit the Discord, the Patreon, hit a stream, hit up my house, hit up me when I'm on a cruise. Just find me randomly in the world. I don't know. Do it.
Or you can go over to Patreon, where we have a little account set up and we treat it like a tip jar. You know what? Put a little dollar in there, $2, $3, $4, $5, any kind of those dollars helps us pay the bills, keep the lights on, and keep the show moving without any sort of problems. You've all been so kind to us all these years, kept everything running for us. It's been great. It's been wonderful. I appreciate it so very much. And if you could continue to do so and others just join in, that would be so welcomed and appreciated. But you know what? You might not be able to, but you can also go support us with 5-star ratings on the iTunes, 5 stars on the old Spotify. You can hit on over to the wonderful Discord, join in, have some conversations with us, talk back and forth. You can give us a mailbag question, something you want us to talk about, some spicy, juicy nugget you really got to hear our opinion on. That's there for you as well. Or go to Twitch and stream and give us your Amazon Prime Twitch sub account, thingamajiggy, give us Amazon's money. Watch Matt do some games. Have some good times. All these things are here for you, and we really appreciate you engaging in any and all of them. Thank you so much.
And I don't remember if Eric mentioned it in the closing part or in a previous part, but hey, look, the next episode, which you can find on iTunes and Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube, will be dropping on and around the 13th of February. We're back to a normal recording schedule, unless Eric screws it up this time, at least for a while. I checked out the next couple weeks, and I think my Thursdays are free. But we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see how it shakes out. You can find it there. You can find it everywhere. And hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, rating, review, comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it.
Well, that's right, man. Or, you know what? Get just 5-star review, do all the things, have a great time. I don't know, I'm not threatening nobody because I was told not to threaten nobody, but I would say 5 stars would make me so happy and so appreciative, and it gets us up there, makes us feel good, and gets us going on this brand new year with just a railing good time, and that's what we want to do here at Third Shift for sure. And with that, there's nothing else to say, Mr. Matt. You know the deal. But don't forget to say.
Shut up and sit down.